All right, so I don't know who Rogan's speaking to.
This is
here.
a Duncan Trussell, I believe,
Okay.
but I don't think Duncan says anything. But Duncan's a comedian and more on the hippie side of the Rogan Experience.
And here is Joe Rogan making basically a full-throated endorsement, not just for not kidnapping babies, which I think, should be the baseline for people, and I think he would agree.
He does it really
but also for, I guess, on some level, on that spectrum of what we talked about before, that Jordan Peterson supposedly doesn't like, except for in the context of divvying up the sexual benefits the society provides.
Food no, pussy yes. Peterson
Exactly.
2020.
He talks about we should have not, what's the word? Not exact. There should be some equality of outcome, I think is the way that I would say this.
It's like I see a lot of people online talking about this immigrant issue, and they either don't have kids or they don't think it could happen to their kids. Their idea is, hey, shouldn't have fucking come over here. You get those kind of people. Broke the law. Shouldn't have fucking come over here if your kid, you didn't want to get your kid separated. If you were in the presence of a woman who came over here from Guatemala and she's poor and she's starving and they're taking her baby away and she's wailing and screaming from a primal place in her DNA that the one thing she loves more than anything is being taken away. A baby.
Yeah.
If that doesn't freak you the fuck out, you're not a part of the team, man. You're missing it. You're missing it. What are we here for? We're here for 100 years of whatever. That's what we're here for. If you want to spend 100 years saying, hey, she shouldn't have fucking broke the law, I don't want you on the team. You're an asshole, right? And I don't give a fuck if you're right or left. I don't care if you're religious, or I don't care if you're an atheist. If that's what you support, you're an asshole, and we don't want you on our team. Okay? So, but if you agree with certain economic policies that I don't agree with, and we could have a discussion about it, we could figure out why you agree, and we could figure out why people are allowing all of this money to get into politics. Why are we allowing all these special interest groups and lobbyists to interfere with our laws and influence our politicians and create all this shit that we don't want? Well, here's the number one reason. You can't just vote online. You can't just vote. It's not one person, one vote.
Right.
It's the Electoral College, and there's a lot of checks and balances that are in place. That's all wonderful and groovy, but it's not giving the trust to the people.
Right.
The trust to the people that they're informed, that they can make their own decisions, that more people should be able to make these decisions. But they're happening now. That 28-year-old girl who won in New York, 28-year-old
That's it.
Democratic socialist. Whether I agree with her or not, and I don't know if I do or don't. I bet I agree with her on a lot of things. I think education should be free. I think we should figure out a way. If we could pay for bombs, we could pay for schools. I think this idea that everybody should have health care, it's a great idea. Who the fuck wants people to not be healthy? Who wants people to be hurt and not be able to fix it? Are you really saying that struggling people should have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to get fixed when we could maybe chip in and help members of our team? That's stupid. Fill it up. Figure it out yourself. I had to. You got lucky, bitch. You got lucky you don't have leukemia. You didn't break both your legs when you were 18. Your parents are dead.
Right.
You got lucky, piece of shit. These are people on our team.
Right.
Because I'm not talking about people who are lazy, good for nothing, losers, mooching off the system. You're going to have that too. Well, we got to figure out how to educate people so that happens less and less. That's what we got to figure out how to do.
That first part, if you're saying that about the immigrant children, you're not on the team. I haven't heard anybody put it better.
Well, yeah,
You're an
but
asshole.
that actually
It's just
is
basic
that to me
moral
is the most
distinction.
is sort of the low hanging fruit. I mean, what is more interesting to
Not
me?
for his audience.
Well, not for his audience, perhaps, but what's more interesting to me is him saying that look, there are a bunch of things that I think are basic rights, that like education, like healthcare. I would imagine he says the same thing about food and whatnot. And also, I actually think this is important too. The acknowledgement that there is no system that doesn't have people who take advantage of it. That will always be the case. I don't care. And if you don't think it happens within the context of capitalism, you're absurd. It's absurd.
Look at the Trump family.
I mean, it's everywhere. It is built into the system. It is inherent in the system. It is definitionally the system, right? To take advantage of other people. And But if you don't think that there's always going to be some percentage, you're deluded and you're lying to yourself. There's corruption in everything. There's fraud in everything. It's far greater in the private sector than it is in the public sector, in fact. But the fact that he acknowledges that and says, like, it'll happen, and, you know, we can do things maybe to mitigate it, but it's always going to be there to a certain extent. But that the trade-off, the value to society, to make sure that people have a basic minimum, some basic rights and standards, versus the fact that, yes, some people will get away with it.
I also like the way he said to mitigate it.
That's super important.
You know, it's the way he said to mitigate it, too. He just looped back to education, which is also great. He said we can mitigate it through doing things like educating.
Look, you can mitigate it.
No, but he didn't say like
be there. But the bottom line is,
not punishing people.
It is better. It is better to have a few people who are getting free rides, if people believe that that's the case, and provide for a lot of people who need it, than vice versa.
Yeah, and if I have to choose between systems, I'd rather one where people might take advantage of it to get like some basic, simple standard of living without working as hard as everyone else, like socialism would provide, versus like people taking advantage of it to have fabulous levels of disgusting wealth built on exploitation.
Right. I mean, it's not like, you know, oh my God, this person is getting food stamps and they're not qualified. That's an extra $200 a month that they're living high on the hog.
Like, I do not care at all about that. Go with your bliss.